In 1783, George Washington proclaimed, quote, "If freedom of speech is taken away, then dumb and silent we may be led like sheep to the slaughter." End quote. North Korea is led by a shepherd, herder of sheep, who goes by the name of Kim Jong-un, who is the son of their previous leader, Kim Jong-il, who passed away in recent years from a heart attack, leaving his son to reign. These leaders are descended from North Korea's first leader post-World War II, Kim Il-sung, in 1948, titled as the Supreme Leaders of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. The anniversaries of both Kim Il-sung's birth and death are celebrated annually, as they are considered national holidays in North Korea. This democracy is so controlling that human beings in their care are being denied a basic human right of the freedom of speech and global communications. Hi, my name is Hannah Davidson, and I want to speak today on the effects of being denied the right to communication, specifically to the people of North Korea. North Koreans have been terrorized and threatened for decades. They are afraid to even think, as some believe that their leaders, specifically Kim Il-sung, known as the eternal president of the republic, a god in their eyes, are so powerful that they could even read their thoughts. The first subject I want to speak on is North Korea's access to television. There's only one televised station in North Korea, which is filled with government propaganda. There is no access to satellite TV, no independent media, no Disney movies. Even the radio is fixed to strictly play domestic broadcasts, and modifying it to play stations from neighboring countries such as China or South Korea could end in jail time or worse. It is known that some have even been executed for watching Hollywood films that have been smuggled in, films that we would even let our own toddlers watch, such as Finding Nemo or The Little Mermaid, according to Yeonmi Park, a well-known North Korean refugee. Next, I want to explain the usage of the internet. The internet is strictly supervised and only used under the permission of someone in command. For over 20 years, the internet has been changing lives in various countries all around the world. However, in North Korea, the average Korean doesn't even understand the concept of the internet as a whole and simply doesn't know what they're missing. The internet is also filled with government propaganda, like the television, and has high government surveillance. The internet is a limited service that few North Koreans get the opportunity to utilize. However, it's closed-off computer network, which provides service only to domestic websites and email. No access to websites that we here in America use every single day, such as Google, Facebook, and YouTube. Can you imagine a life without Google? If our internet is down, we can simply go to the library or call a friend to find answers to the questions we have. But North Koreans, they don't even have the ability to search a textbook, as their education is strictly monitored and minimal. Now, I would like to touch base on cell phone usage, something even small children have access to in America, something that could get one arrested in America for restricting someone from using, as it is a human right for them to have. People of North Korea are not allowed the freedom to make any unauthorized international calls and are not allowed the use or possess ownership of personal cell phones outside the country's mandated cell phone, which currently is a smartphone knockoff of China's main cell phone. If they are caught using a cell phone to contact anybody outside North Korea to places like China or South Korea, including family members or friends, they risk being sent to political camps, similar to the concentration camps Jews were sent to by the Nazis, or detention facilities ran by the government as punishment. International calls are even blocked for North Koreans who use the country's domestic cell phone service, which has more than 3 million current subscribers. Arnold Fang stated that, quote, "North Koreans are not only deprived of the chance to learn about the world outside, they are suppressed from telling the world about their complete denial of human rights," end quote. Many North Koreans are smuggling imported cell phones and SIM cards from the Chinese border, including several other items such as food and clothing, to fulfill their basic rights as a human being, which most do not even understand they have. They are brainwashed from birth to believe that North Korea is the best place in the whole world, and they have it better off than any outsiders, including the, quote, American bastards, end quote, which they are taught to refer to us Americans as. Their freedom of speech is non-existent. If they were to downgrade or belittle the government and change the command any leaders in any way, or simply disagree out loud, they will be executed. Yeonmi Park stated that North Koreans don't even understand that they have rights. They don't have words in their language as a vocabulary for things such as human rights, liberty, or love. So, if they don't even know what they are missing and what they deserve as human beings, how can they ask for it when there are literally no words? North Koreans have no means of communication that is legal to the outside world, so they rely on word of mouth to get messages to the people on the outside and to learn of what's across their borders. A majority of them live in poverty, hunger, starvation, filth, yet they still are brainwashed to believe that this is the best place they could possibly live. Beyonce Lee in TED Talks spoke of how she was fortunate to have never experienced hunger or poverty herself, but proclaimed that, quote, but one day, in 1955, my mom brought home a letter from a co-worker's sister. It read, when you read this, our 5 family members will not exist in this world because we haven't eaten for the past 3 weeks. We are lying on the floor together because our bodies are so weak. We are ready to die, end quote. She continued on to say, quote, when I was little, I grew up thinking my country was the best on the planet. I grew up singing a song called Nothing to Envy, and I was very proud. In school, we spent a lot of time studying the history of Kim Il-sung, but we never learned much about the outside world except that America, South Korea, and Japan are the enemies, end quote. She continued on to say that their electricity is shut off at night, making their world one of the darkest places on earth, from dusk to dawn, except for the sea of lights that they could see in China. Beyonce Lee questioned, quote, I always wondered why they had lights and we didn't, end quote. These people are being oppressed over their birthplace. North Korea is shutting themselves off from the rest of the world, denying themselves of all the benefits global communications would have on them, denying them of outsider goods, denying them of outsider trade, denying themselves of a brighter education aside from the very limited one they have right now, denying themselves of outsider perspectives, ideas, conversations, etc. Their leaders believe that by shutting them off to the rest of the world, they are doing what's best for their people. But instead, they're killing any ounce of happiness left in North Korea. By cutting themselves off, they refuse to grow. They refuse to understand and know the current world as it is today. They are living as a modern-day concentration camp run by North Korean Nazis. It is unimaginable what they would go through every single day and what they've been denied as human beings. This is the effect that the lack of global communication and basic communication has on people as a whole, which is why it is so important to be able to exercise our basic human rights to communicate without fear of severe punishment or execution. Yeonmi Park stated that there are many ways to help North Koreans, but there are 3 main ways that we can help. 1. Educate yourself so you can raise awareness about human crisis in North Korea. 2. Support North Korean refugees who are trying to escape to freedom. 3. Shed light on the darkest place in the world, not just North Korean human rights, but basic human rights that North Korean leaders have violated for over 7 decades. She continues to say that, quote, we need governments around the world to put pressure on China to stop perpetration. In particular, Chinese delegates of the organization One Young World can play a part by speaking out, end quote. In conclusion, I'd like to invite you to go out and make a difference. One person can change an entire world for someone else. Be the change and the good you want to see in the world, and help give North Koreans a chance to participate in our basic human right that we as Americans so often take for granted, global communications. Thank you.